Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is a special video looking at who will be Manchester United's manager next season, who should be Manchester United's next season, whether United should stick with Erik Ten Hag or twist with some of the candidates who we have been linked with. We're going to get into it where we look at the different names that are being bandied about and we can all discuss whether or not Erik Ten Hag is the better option. Joining me is Mr. Adam Ashton. How are we doing?
I'm all right, yeah. Well, yeah, you wake up good and then you realise that you're a Man United fan, don't you? And then it ruins your day a little bit. But yeah, no, apart from that, I'm good. Are you? Are you all right?
I'm all right, yeah. It's like the opposite of Christmas Day, isn't it? Yeah. You know, Christmas Day when you're a kid, you wake up, you're like, it's Christmas Day. Yeah. It's like you wake up in the morning and you go, I'm a United fan. It's like, I woke up this morning, it's a very good point, because I woke up this morning and it's like, the first thing I was sort of, when I woke up and I was looking at, you know, football and what's going on, Cole Palmer scoring loads of goals, Chelsea are, you know, getting better, they're sorting themselves out. I know there's still a bit of a shambles, but they're sorting themselves out, and it's just like, oh, you know, oh, and then it's like, oh, we've got to look forward to, we've got the FA Cup to look forward to, then you think, oh, then it's going to be, you know, probably playing City in the final. It's just, yeah. It's
I wish our strikers were arguing over who was going to score the fifth goal. Like, what? I just can't.
I can't remember a time when our strikers argued about who's going to score the second goal, let alone the fifth. Do you know what I mean? It was some odd scenes at Stamford Bridge. And listen, I'm glad that our strikers aren't arguing at all, but it'd be nice to see us, you know.
None of them are scoring, but they're all friends.
Yeah, they're all friends. They're all high-fiving each other after we win a corner that leads to no goals. Listen, we're going to talk about some of the names. I mean, this morning it was reported that Bayern Munich were edging a step closer to getting Julian Nagelsmann as their next manager, replacing Thomas Tuchel next season. It's not been confirmed at the time recording this. We'll have to wait and see. Nagelsmann is a name that has been linked with Manchester United, so we thought we'd just do a little quick chat about some of the names that have been linked and about Erik Ten Hag as well. I want you guys to get involved in the comments and let us know what you think, because when I did the news earlier on today, there was still a lot of support in the comments for Erik Ten Hag, and I think there is still some support, but there's also a lot of people who are going, I can't stomach this anymore. I can't sit through what I'm watching week in, week out. And a lot of people are losing faith. Where do you stand on Erik Ten Hag in a minute, bro?
Personally, it's probably an unpopular opinion. I don't know, maybe not, but I'm still behind him, really. I personally, as much as the results have been crap, I just feel this sort of like, unless you give somebody enough time, I don't know whether I don't think you can start seeing massive changes in a couple of years. I genuinely think it takes 5-6 years, and maybe that's too long in today's game, because you know there's so much money in it, and a lot of people have got like quite a sort of, you know, a short attention span, and people want change really quick, and people don't want to put up with you know the crap. But like when you look at Klopp and Pep, I suppose City was set up for Pep to come straight in, but the likes of Klopp, he wasn't incredible straight away. No. You know, it did take a while. And I don't know, I just feel like the problem was there before Ten Hag at United. And there was players that were there before Ten Hag. So to say that he's the problem, just, I don't know, it just seems a little bit too, like, let's get rid of him and get a new one, because I think it's the easy, you can't get rid of all your whole squad. You can get rid of a manager quite fairly.
It's the easy option.
Yeah, so I feel like I just don't think it's necessarily the right one. I'm not saying he's necessarily the right manager for Manchester United. I don't know, maybe he's not, but I would like to see INEOS come in and do what they can do with him. I think it would be more of a ballsy move to keep hold of him, because it would be quite easy for them to come in and go, no, we want this guy. He's going to be our guy. But I just feel like Ten Hag's already had 2 years. That's 2 years of getting to know the players, getting to know who, like, the people's strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. So I feel like to then get rid of him and go back to and start with somebody brand new, I feel like that's slightly more of a risk. So personally, I would keep hold of him for at least another year, for the rest of the end of his contract. Was it a 3-year contract?
I think so. Yeah, I think there was talk. I think, I don't know if it's the same like players he can extend it a year, but I think it was something like that. I think 2025 is when I think his deal runs out.
I would like to see him have another year. I think, and the fact that there aren't necessarily sort of any standout candidates for his replacement. I think that's another factor. I'm not saying he's definitely the right guy. I think at this moment in time,
it's worth another season, worth giving him that job.
Yeah, and
under INEOS.
Yeah, and I think there's just so much going wrong. I don't know. It's just getting another manager in could be an even bigger risk, and could be even worse. I don't know. Maybe not, because you do get a bit of a new manager bounce, but I don't know.
Well, we have that new manager bounce almost every time we have a new manager. I think other than maybe Ralph Rangnick, we've always had it at Moyes.
And then we have
the second season syndrome or the third season syndrome in some cases. I pretty much agree with what you said. I went on the overlap a little while ago, and I said the same thing. I said I'd like to see him being given a chance. Now, since I said that, we haven't won a game.
Yeah.
And I said that just after we beat Liverpool 4-3.
But
it was quite a popular opinion at the time, because everyone was loving him.
Yeah.
And now it's like people go, well, we lost to Chelsea, we drew at Bournemouth and Brentford. It's been a bit of a shambles. We drew with Liverpool. Like, everyone's losing faith. But I kind of get where you're coming from. Let's talk a little bit about some of the candidates that have been named. Now, there's varying degrees of excitement around these names, so we'll get into it. And do get involved in the comments. Let us know if we miss anyone out. We can't go through every single manager that's been linked with Manchester United, because we'll be here all day. But we'll start with the main ones. This name's been bandied about quite a lot, and it's probably the most underwhelming one for me. And this is Gareth Southgate. Now, you're laughing there. Gareth Southgate, his record in club football was he got Middlesbrough relegated, and then he got sacked when they were in the Championship. As England manager, his tournament record is actually decent. He's very good. I don't want to downplay it. Semi-final, final, quarter-final. Very good record. Yeah. Obviously, in the Europa League, whatever, it's not Europa League, the Nations League. Yeah. I think he had a third place finish, then they got relegated. So not exactly covering himself in glory there. But his international record as a manager is good. Yeah?
Yeah.
And there's always the chance that he could do a madness in the Euros. He could. How do you feel about Gareth Southgate potentially sitting in the Old Trafford dugout next season?
He's my favourite one to replace. No,
I'm about to say, you couldn't even keep a straight face with that sentence, could you? Before you're about to get clips up, then.
I don't want to see that at all.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I haven't really seen any United fans saying that they would want him there.
I've not seen one. Honestly, and I think you can find a United fan, right, who will say almost anything. There's always at least one or two that will just come out with the most outrageous things you've ever heard in life. And yet, even I've struggled to see anyone who, with a serious face, is saying they want Gareth Southgate as manager.
Yeah, I think everyone's against it, and so. But he does seem to be people are saying that he's the favourite for INEOS because they've got that connection there. But I just think it would be.
INEOS seems to have a connection with a lot of managers.
Well, that's true, yeah. But, I mean, so if they were to make this appointment based on that they've got this relationship with him, I would start worrying a little bit about INEOS, because it's, again, that feels more like jobs for the boys, like people who they know, rather than appointing somebody based on their skill set. So I can't see it happening. I think it would be a bad decision for them. And I don't think any United fans want it.
No. Get involved in the comments in the chat. Let us know what you think. Gareth Southgate, for me, a massive no. He's done well with England, but that doesn't mean anything for club football. It certainly doesn't mean that you're ready to manage Manchester United. His club record was terrible. And also, he's not managed in the Premier League, I think, for about a decade or whatever it's been. It's been a long time. So I don't see the wisdom in appointing Gareth Southgate to what is arguably the biggest job in football. Roberto De Zerbi seems to be a more popular figure amongst the Manchester United fans. I'm not saying loads of fans want him, but I certainly think he's got more supporters than Gareth Southgate. His record is, decent at Brighton. I think the currently, last season they had a good season, didn't they? They obviously got to. They secured a top 7 finish, and they got to the FA Cup semi-final as well. We beat them on penalties. This season, at the moment, I think they're 10th, which isn't exactly amazing, but I think we have to put things in perspective. For Brighton, that's actually all right. Yeah. I think they've not flattered to deceive. I think they've overachieved a little bit. Yeah. Brighton, in terms of resources and everything else, aren't a top 6 or 7 club. They're not. And I think 10th for them is pretty decent. However, is that good enough to make you want De Zerbi? He's also a manager he's had quite a few managerial jobs. I think he's had, I'm just going to go for it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jobs in the last 10 years. He's been a busy bee.
Yeah.
Been a little bit unfortunate. I think he went to Shakhtar Donetsk just as the war in Ukraine was kicking off. I think it was what caught that. Might have caught that a bit short. I saw a bit of a Sky doc where they were saying he was there, and to be fair, he came across really well in it, because I think players were being evacuated and things like that. And he stayed until everyone was sort of safe. But put that to one side. His record as a manager, I think the big plus point for De Zerbi is he plays good football. He obviously works within a tight sort of budget. Yeah. What do you think about De Zerbi?
I think his style of play, like you say, is something that people are calling out for now. They're saying they can't see what Ten Hag's style of play is. That is something that I think we need at Manchester United. I mean, having said that, people were crying out for a stricter manager following Solskjaer, and then we got sort of Ten Hag, who was a bit more less of a, pally with the players. But at the minute, the thing seems to be that people want to see a style of play. I think the only concern is the concern I've seen on Twitter and things is that he could do a Graham Potter, where you do well with a team lower down the table, but once you get one of the top 6 teams, it just collapses.
Well, that's what happened.
And could he do that? Yeah. So
I mean, Brighton 10th. So. Yeah, but I think the thing, put it in perspective, that's good for Brighton. I'm not trying to, pat them on the head and put little Brighton, but look at the resources they've got. I mean, Chelsea have spent billions and are 3 points above them. West Ham, who, haven't got unlimited money, but they're a bigger club than Brighton. They're in 8th, then it's United in 7th, Newcastle in 6th, and so on and so on. So I think Brighton is punching above the weight still, despite the fact they're mid-table. So I think you've got to give them a little bit of credit there. Yeah. But I understand what you mean about those reservations. Leads me nicely to the next one. Graham Potter did really well at Brighton, a disaster at Chelsea. Some people say you can't count what happened at Chelsea because it was such a bin fire when he arrived there, with players standing in the corridor because there was too many of them and all the rest of it, and Todd Burley just playing championship manager with the team or whatever, and getting players he didn't want or whatever. It was just a bit of a nightmare. However, you can't ignore the fact he's managed 2 teams in the Premier League, and one of them he's done really well and the other one's been horrible. Yeah,
I mean, if he's not good at managing bin fires, then he probably shouldn't come to Manchester United, really, should he?
If you can't come with your fire extinguisher, don't come at all, son, because we are the ultimate bin fire here at Old Trafford. Trust me on that.
So maybe he just needs he must need a setup that's stable,
not insane. That's not does not absolutely off its head. I mean, again, if I'm gonna sort of play devil's advocate, the idea is that under INEOS we will have a better
I hope so, yeah.
So he might fit in. However, I just feel with Graham Potter, he's just proper underwhelming. And he seems like a nice guy, but it's just, there's something about him where I just feel like if he came in, it wouldn't excite you. And I don't know if it'd excite the players. And I think the players have to sort of feel a little bit like, oh yeah, okay, the manager's gone, that's disappointing, but we've got someone else in who's, this is it now. I don't think Graham Potter does that to you.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. Actually, he's not exciting, as he's not that manager, is he at all? So and maybe I don't know. I couldn't tell you what our players need. Do they need someone that they can get excited under? I thought we had that with Ten Hag, but he's not the most charismatic of managers, is he? But
no,
maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need that kind of like a Mourinho type figure to come in and revitalise the place. I don't know.
For Mourinho for a little while was great. I mean, I was in his press conference. He was cracking jokes. He took the mick out of me once for being bald, and it was all good. But then when the wheels come off for Mourinho, they come off, and he goes to war with everyone, including his own players and the owners and he just becomes like him against the world. Talking of charismatic managers from Portugal, Rúben Amorim, Sporting manager. Now he's been linked with Liverpool quite heavily, so I'm wary of not being too praiseworthy of him in case he ends up there. Sporting sitting on top of the Portuguese league. I think they're 4 points clear of Benfica, and they've got a game in hand as well, so they're a good bet to win the title. I think he's won 1 title there already. A very good sort of highly respected manager, but it does feel to me like if he's going to go anywhere, it'll go to Anfield. Obviously Liverpool looking for a replacement for Klopp.
Yeah, everything points towards him going to Liverpool, so let's let's not praise him too much, like you said. But I don't know too much about him other than he's doing all right with Sporting at the minute. But yeah,
he feels like to me he's a bit of an Erik Ten Hag type manager in the sense that he's done well in Portugal, and he has. And it's a case of, does that mean you can do well at Manchester United? Yeah. Because like Ten Hag did well in Holland. And again, there's a similarity there because Sporting, I think he sort of revitalised them in a way that Erik Ten Hag did that with Ajax.
Yeah.
But you go, does that mean you read it? Again, I keep going back to it. Under INEOS, it probably suited, but I don't want to be too praised with it because the likelihood he's going to be the Liverpool manager. So I'm just going to say right now, I think he's rubbish and I hope he fails. If he ends up at Liverpool, of course, I'll completely change that if he ends up at United, but I don't see it happening. Another one that's been linked, doesn't look like it is going to happen because the latest reports he's going to go to Germany was Nagelsmann. Would you have had Nagelsmann or would you have him if he was available? It doesn't like he is, but would he be one who's on your
probably? Yeah, I mean, didn't Bayern get shut of him when he just won? Wasn't he doing really well and then they got rid of him? But they want him back, don't they? Anyway, so
yeah, I mean, they were a bit harsh with him. To be fair, I think.
Yeah, just
it was. He was basically. Things weren't done. They weren't terrible, but in March of 2023, he was sacked with the club 1 point behind Dortmund in the league. So it's not like it was over. I mean, March, 1 point behind top spot, and also you're a team that historically wins the title. And don't forget, going into the final game that season, Dortmund could have won the league had they won their game, and they didn't. And it was like no one expected Bayern Munich. So Tuchel went in there and did well, but he didn't. It wasn't like he turned everything around. He more or less took them to where they were till the last day of the season, where they were, I think, 1 point still behind Dortmund, or they were one game within it, and then Dortmund lost and Bayern won or whatever it was. So, Dortmund might have drew, I can't remember. But anyway, Bayern won the league on the last day of the season, so it was a bit harsh. And he's ended his career at Bayern with a 71.4% win rate.
Really well.
I mean, even by Munich standards, not bad, is it?
Yeah.
So careful what you wish for as well, because Bayer Leverkusen just won the title, haven't they? So it's not like it's not like Tuchel went in there and did a great job. On the whole, looks like he's going to go back to Bayern, though. Like you say, I don't want to waste too much. The last one I'm going to mention, and there are others that I could get into, but I'm not going to. Thiago Motta, doing really well at Bologna. They're, I think, currently fourth in Serie A, which for them is massive. Again, a good young, highly respected coach. Do you think he could end up at United? Could he be the answer to our problems? He's only 41 years old, so he's obviously, he's what is he, 11, 12 years younger than Erik Ten Hag, quite a young manager.
Again, like you say, it's tough to say, isn't it? I think with managers that have managed in the Premier League, you've got something to go off there, but they're doing well in the Italian league. Where does he belong?
Yeah, Bologna.
If he's doing well there, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll translate to the Premier League. So it could work. It might not. It'll be interesting to see whoever does come in under INEOS, how that will work, because having that structure above him could like completely change the way that Manchester United go forward. We've seen really good managers come in the past that you think we're definitely going to win something. Like Mourinho comes in, we're definitely going to get at least a trophy. And
we won the treble. I'm joking, by the way. Like, that's before anyone goes, come on, Jay. The thing with Motta is he's highly respected. This 2-7-2 formation, though, isn't a 2-7-2. It's 4-3-3. It's just you're reading it right to left rather than back to front.
So he's changed the way that you read things.
The idea behind it, the reason he's saying it is 2-7-2 obviously adds up to 11, is the goalkeeper plays his part, and he's saying like you've got 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then there's 7. Including the goalkeeper, and it's like your attacker is your first defender, your goalkeeper is your first attacker. I think it's this whole idea that this new sort of fandangled way of looking at what is basically, for me, total football style, where every player plays a part in all sorts of positions. If you had to pick anyone, I know you said stick with Ten Hag, but if you had to pick anyone out of the ones we've named, who would be your pick if you had to?
I think I would go for De Zerbi. I think it's with his style of play and the fact that he's managed in the Premier League. I think he would be less of a risk than the other ones, I think.
I think that's it, innit? We're all sort of like, who's the least risky?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone who you go, well, he's definitely guaranteed to bring you success in the way that you felt a Jose Mourinho would. Yeah. I think now we're in the stage of, because of where United are, we're miles behind the likes of City and Liverpool and even Arsenal, because of the amount of sort of, you know, players we need to bring in and get rid of. We need a massive overhaul.
We just need stability in each of those places throughout the club, don't we? So, and then you start looking at the players. But once the upsurge is sorted, then if you get a manager that's the least risk, then you know.
I'm kind of with you that I would go for De Zerbi if we had to get rid of. I think maybe the gamble on someone like a Motta might be worth it, because of just that fact that it is the unknown. But maybe we need a bit of that. Maybe we need
an extra player.
Yeah, you get an extra player, you get an extra man. Then what more do you want? Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm sort of coming around to thinking maybe you have to take a little bit of a gamble on someone who is slightly unknown. Yeah. That could be the way that Manchester United could move forward. And also we've got this idea that we're going to be working under a proper structure with Dan Ashworth, with Jason Wilcox, with Omar Barada. So it won't be the same as bringing in a sort of a Jose Mourinho type, or even an Erik Ten Hag when he came in, who's got a sort of control over everything. Yeah. It will be slightly different. Listen, get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think about the managers we mentioned. Have we missed anyone out? Would you stick with Ten Hag? Would you go with someone like Motta, or would you go with someone like De Zerbi, or even are you one of the people I've not spoken to yet who actually thinks Gareth Southgate would be the right answer? Adam, where can people find you?
Adam Ashton on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, you know where to find me as well, Jay Motty. This has been a look at United's next manager. Will it be Erik Ten Hag or will it be someone else? Let us know. Thanks for watching.